What if FERALIGATR was in Gen 1 OU? Finally completing the trio of Johto starters, we have the water starter. And the one that I'm pretty sure differentiates the most from his Cantonian counterpart in Blastoise. Because let's see here, the stats are... Okay, no, it's still basically the same thing. They just switch attack with special defense. Why did they do this with the Johto starters? It's so lazy. But that's regardless, because even if they have that different split there, these guys operate very differently. And at first I was going to say FERALIGATR was going to be the worst out of all of them. And there's a slight chance that he might be. But luckily, looking through his moves, I do think he has enough unique tools to where he can always stand out as a water type. Because admittedly, Gen 1 has a lot of those. And a lot of them are in underuse, which are not good enough to have any chance in OU whatsoever. But is FERALIGATR going to be like them? Only one way to find out. Now, starting off with his special attack, because it's probably the most important thing to go over. Because obviously, being a water type, he is going to be using water moves. And 79, it's technically higher than Tauros' special. And obviously, a stab Hydro Pump would do more than Blizzard, but... And it's kind of disappointing. I wish it was higher. Because, especially since you need to use Hydro Pump. I'm sure Surf will do decent damage, but you think you really need Hydro Pump in order to really threaten stuff. I know you need Hydro Pump to threaten Tauros with a 3-hit KO, and I'm not sure if Surf can really do that. I doubt it. Which is unfortunate. So it kind of makes you think you would kind of want to just focus on physical moves anyways. Just because that 105 attack stat is pretty good. And the rest of his stats are pretty good too. 100 defense is I don't understand why he has it. Blastoise I can understand, but a Cayman? Because that's basically what FERALIGATR's based off. I think it's based off a Cayman, it's not actually an alligator. Either way, he definitely appreciates it. And with base 78 speed, he's at least faster than the Cloyster. So as far as I'm concerned, he is pretty fast. That's also faster than a Victory Bell. So while you're not really going to see it in OU a lot, if you do see it, if you have Blizzard, you can always somewhat defend yourself. I wouldn't really recommend, fighting in that matchup, but it's something. So the stats are pretty good, but a lot of water types have pretty good stats. Like Lapras, for example, has way better stats than FERALIGATR. So what moves does it have to really set it apart? For the most part, not much. It mostly just enjoys being a pure water type that also has good attack and good physical attacking moves. For example, Earthquake. And it's good enough to where Hydro Pump and Blizzard are good. Obviously, Hydro Pump is a mainstay. Blizzard is... I would say you would use it a good amount of the time. I think these two probably auto-includes. But yeah, Blizzard... Ice Beam for more consistent damage. Ice Punch if you just want to lose. Rock Slide. I feel like Rock Slide is probably the one you debate whether on using that or Blizzard. Because both basically do the same thing where you're hitting Zapdos super effectively. But both of them also have an extra Pokemon you can hit. With Rock Slide, you also get to hit Jinx and Cloyster. Meanwhile, with Blizzard, you get to hit Eggy. So it's up to you. For me, even though Blizzard has higher base power and with the promise of freeze could be huge, I just think I would rather use Rock Slide because more power points, but also more importantly, you actually use that strong physical attack, and you're technically hitting more stuff super effectively. And as we'll see with Executor later, just having a nice move is not enough, nowhere near enough. But if it's just that, it just wouldn't be enough, even Surf, still wouldn't really help it. But luckily, the thing that sets FERALIGATR apart, it helps it stand on its own, like how Typhlosion and Meganium have stand on their own. What FERALIGATR has is Slash. A critical slash on a base 105 Pokemon, yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is going to be relevant. And this is going to help him tremendously. Because now, you have just a really consistent physical attacking move. One that can do decent chip damage on pretty much anything. And the Pokemon that resist it, aka the rock types and ghost types, you have super effective coverage for. And that's really good. Okay, like FERALIGATR's probably going to be better than I thought he was going to be. I'm not sure he'll be OU, but at the very least, he might have a niche in OU, which I think that's about like the most people can ask for. So let's actually see how good he does. Starting off with the boy himself, it was really annoying because it felt like every single time I did recording, I always got crits. But at least with crits with both of them, they can seriously threaten each other, but obviously Tauros crits way more. So I tried looking for some more, and I still was always getting crits of paralysis on Tauros. So eventually just settled for this one where he still got a crit on Body Slam, did about half health. But as you see, Hydro Pump does about a third, Body Slam does about a fourth, Slash does a little bit like more than a fourth, but still not really good. So it's pretty much just a bad matchup anyways. Because you're basically hit killing each other. If Tauros doesn't get crits with Body Slam, he's getting 2 Body Slams and a Hyper Beam. And then FERALIGATR is praying that Hydro Pump will hit, 2 or 3 times. So yeah, it could be better. Unfortunate. And against Snorlax, considering you're faster than Snorlax, I think the matchup is a lot better. Not the most desirable thing in the world, but at least you have a good chance of critting, doing a lot of damage. And even if it's Amnesialax or Reflectalax, you still have Slash, which doesn't do as much as like Hydro Pump. Certainly not more than a critical Hydro Pump, but I still think it's a good matchup overall. You have high defense, and Snorlax, it needs paralysis in order to seriously threat you. But even then, I do think there's the possibility of you also using Rest on FERALIGATR. I don't know if it's super good. Probably isn't. But depending on the matchup, you can survive a few hits. So it's possible. It's up to you. Whatever you guys want. And then against Chansey, I think this is the one that FERALIGATR does the best against. Because even against Bolt Beam Chansey, with Slash, you guys can both 3-hit kill each other. But FERALIGATR is obviously faster. And I think trading your FERALIGATR for taking out Chansey is a really good trade. Not to mention with FERALIGATR having a pretty decent speed stat, you might be able to get it out at a later time anyways, and just get some free chip damage in with Slash, which is good. You definitely want to see it. And then against Alakazam, obviously with paralysis, crits, and special drops, it's probably going to win more times than not. But at the very least with Slash, you can 2-hit KO it. And since Alakazam only 3-hit KOs you without getting a special drop or crit, you can seriously threaten it, which is good. Probably should have gone for Earthquake that one time. I was kind of hoping it would get a crit, and if it did get a crit, probably would have won. But either way, this is still a good matchup, or one that can go quickly the way I meant to say. At best case scenario, I think FERALIGATR can burn most of Alakazam's recovers. So assuming it doesn't get unlucky with a special drop or a crit, it can pretty much just wear Alakazam down, which good for him. I hate that backspite so much. Also, this is the weirdest one out of all of them, because neither one of these guys really has any way of really damaging each other. Because without Clamp, this would just be, for the most part, a free matchup for FERALIGATR, even though it would take a while to actually hurt him. Because even with the super effective Rock Slide, it still doesn't really do that much, since, as we all know, Quasar has really high defense. So it's just both of them trying to chip each other until Quasar uses Explosion. In reality, neither one of them would really want to mess with each other, but considering the matchup is basically FERALIGATR forcing Quasar to explode, it could go either way, but I would say that the matchup ever so slightly helps FERALIGATR out. but I don't know. And then against Eggy, Blizzard doesn't really do much, and Slash does about the exact same amount. So another reason why I think Rock Slide would be better than Blizzard, because even when you use it super effectively, Slash does about the same amount of damage anyways. So just go for Rock Slide. It's a little bit more useful, but regardless, I don't think anyone's surprised that against the matchup with Executor, it's just unwinnable. There's nothing you can really do against it. And then with Gengar, I don't think Gengar really bothers messing with Hypnosis. It just wants to go for a kill with Thunderbolt. Obviously a crit would one-shot FERALIGATR, but at the same time a critical Earthquake also kills. But both two kill each other. So it could go either way, but Gengar definitely is the better one, out of this. And then with Jinx, I think this is technically a bad matchup, but Jinx can't just win immediately. FERALIGATR has at least a few different chances to wake up, and if Jinx misses a Lovely Kiss, FERALIGATR can get a Rock Slide off, but also even Rock Slide doesn't one shot out of the crit. So I guess this is just a bad matchup. FERALIGATR just got slightly lucky here. Oh well. And then against Slowbro. Yikes. This one is... Let's just put this one on fast, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Slash does decent damage-ish, I guess. It does about as much as a Seismic Toss would do. Which sounds like, okay, that's better than I thought. But, yeah, Slowbro has rest. So, long term, the only thing FERALIGATR can do is just burn some sweep turns. It just never threatens Slowbro. Slowbro can always heal off the damage and wake up just in time. With Paralysis, it can and will get enough chances to get up those amnesias. And once it's at max special, Surf becomes a 2-hit KO. Now on one hand, that does kind of show how bulky FERALIGATR is, where Slowbro needs max attack just to 2-hit KO it. But still, it's a bad matchup. Maybe you can end it with Slowbro 25% health, which can make it easily revenge killed. But you're most likely not gonna do that. It's most likely gonna wait for you to get some really bad paralysis turns, and it can very well wait those turns out. So not much you can really do there. And against Starmie, if it's using just Psychic, Blizzard, or Surf, the matchup becomes a lot better. But I think most Starmies are probably using Thunderbolt, which, good that it 3-hit KOs you without a crit. A Splash basically is the same, but you're faster, you can heal. But it's just a mostly unwinnable matchup for the most part. FERALIGATR is never getting lucky, so it's mostly just a free win for Starmie. And last but not least, we have Zapdos. Now, Zapdos, it doesn't 1-hit KO without a crit, which is surprising. Rock Slide does pathetic damage. Blizzard would probably do even less. So Zapdos pretty much just gets free Cayman meat, which I don't think anyone's really surprised by. And here's the list. I don't know if this is better or worse than I truly thought. I think some things like Snorlax might not belong in a good matchup, but I just kind of want to be nice. Or instead of being nice, it's more so my ADHD needs something to be put there. But overall, it's better than I think I would say it's better than I thought. Because I thought he would just be underwhelming just in general. I will be honest though, I do not think he would be OU. He would probably be underused. And in underused, I imagine he'd be pretty good. Earthquake against Tentacruel is pretty good. Slash just does consistent damage just overall. So that's good. Good for FERALIGATR. In fact, all of the Johto starters I think did pretty well. I would argue that the Johto starters are probably better in Gen 1 OU than Kanto starters are. Even if we went with regular type version instead of Hisuian, it's still better than Charizard because you don't have to worry about an electric or a blizzard weakness. Nor are you quad weak the rock. So yeah, I think just overall the Johto starters are just better. which was not the end conclusion I was gonna come with, but I think it makes sense. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that JoJo starters would be better than the Kanto starters? And do you think Frogger would be good in Gen 1 OU? Anything that I missed? Anything that you would like to add that I didn't think about? And what others would you like to see next? This trio of videos is finally done. So just from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you guys for 500 subscribers. It is amazing just how much my channel has been growing. And it's been making me so happy. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber ever since I was a little kid. And the dream's finally coming true. Which is insane. And it's all because of you guys. So thank you. And until next time, this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.